It's sad that we're in this position again to have this conversation again about kids getting killed at school. It's sad that we gotta have this talk again. But this talk's gonna be a little bit different. I thought of some stuff as I'm leaving my school right now that I work at. I thought of some things and just want your input, your idea on what you think, on whether or not you think this would or wouldn't work. I know after the last situation, a lot of people started screaming that we need to arm our teachers. And, a lot of people didn't like that idea, especially with this generation that literally likes to fight teachers. The last thing you wanted was a teacher with a gun on them when they're getting beat up by a fifth grader or a sixth grader or a high school student. And I understand that. So, I understand the idea of not arming our teachers with guns on them at all times. But I did think of this idea here, and I want to know what you think. If you agree, if you think this is a good idea, because clearly our Congress and people, nobody's really going to do anything about gun reform, and they're not going to make it harder for people to get guns. And understand this. First of all, let me say this. I understand the whole concept of criminals don't follow rules, criminals don't follow laws. If you make it harder for good people to get guns, it just makes it easier for bad people to take advantage of those people who don't have guns. I understand. But I also understand, as it was pointed out to me yesterday, that these are people who legally bought these weapons that don't have records. These aren't people that just came fresh out of prison and they're ready to just pop off and go back to prison. These are people who've never been and went and got guns legally, the correct way. So you can save that argument for right now, okay? That's not what we're going to discuss. Clearly, there has to be more that needs to be done to make it harder for people to get these type of weapons. And I'm all for protecting yourself. I have some guns myself. So I'm all for it. You're not going to hear me act like I'm not. But at the same time, it is too easy for an 18-year-old. But listen to me. I work with high school kids. I work with kids that are 18, 19 years old. Half of them can't tell you what they're going to do with their future tomorrow, let alone let them own a weapon that can do this type of destruction. Okay? So increasing the age of those who are able to buy these type of weapons is one thing. Maybe having them go through a psychological evaluation. Whatever it is you got to do, I'm all for it. My little girl is 10 years old. She's black and Mexican. And seeing a lot of the faces of these little kids who lost their lives, I saw my daughter's face a few times when I looked at those little girls. I would lose my mind if I was to lose my child. But this is the idea. Tell me what you think. So, rather than arming all teachers, which would be a very bad idea, because half of these teachers aren't right in their head either, I say you get one of these electric lock boxes, okay? And you put these boxes in the rooms with the teachers. Now, those boxes can be unlocked from a mobile device. You put people in charge of that. Principal, vice principal, security, whoever it is you want to put in charge of that. And the moment you have a code black or whatever the situation is at your school, a threat on campus with a weapon, you can immediately unlock those boxes from their mobile device. And at that point, each classroom has got a teacher, a person in their classroom who is armed and ready to protect those students. Now, let me say this, as someone who works in the school, I have no problem protecting and defending your children. And I know there's a lot of good teachers in this world who have no problem protecting and defending your children. And now being a teacher is more than just educating. It is about protecting people's kids. If you do not want to step up and protect people's kids, then this shouldn't be a job for you to do right now. And it's sad. I know. We shouldn't have to, but we do. It's part of it. This is the world we live in nowadays. You look at it the way you want to, but it's the world we live in nowadays. Part of being in these schools is knowing that any day of this week, I may be called upon to protect some of these kids from a shooter. And I will, without thinking twice. So, if you put these boxes in these rooms, and you get a shooter active on campus, and your security principal, whoever administrative person, can hit that button and unlock that box, and that person in the room, the teacher in that room, can then get the weapon and prepare themselves and watch the door. See, the thing is, going cold black where the lights go out and everybody gets quiet and the doors get locked, and all the doors are already locked anyway, but everybody goes and hides in a corner or whatever. That doesn't stop. What do you think? They're going to go, oh my God, wow, the lights are off. I guess nobody's here. Let me just leave. No, they can go shoot a door handle off, open up a door, and there's your children hiding in a corner with nowhere to run, and a unarmed person in there trying to stop them getting shot too. And everybody's getting shot. And there's nothing to do. It's shooting ducks in a barrel. Fish in a barrel, I mean. That's what that is. I'd much rather somebody bust through that door and catch a couple shots before they get any shots off, whether they have armor or not. I'd rather them bust through that door and there'll be somebody waiting, locked and loaded, as soon as that door opens up from them shooting the handle off or whatever, or breaking the glass or whatever, ready to shoot and defend our children and themselves. I mean, heck, for me personally, myself, if I don't have a class and I'm in a room by myself and somebody decides to come through there, I'd rather have me a weapon to where if you come through my door, I can defend myself. Not just be somebody begging and pleading you not to do it. That will eliminate the, oh, what if a teacher gets mad at a student, she can shoot? No, because she can't get in the box. Oh, what if a student decides to go for it? He can't get in the box. It is on a controlled system through somebody's mobile device, administrator at that school, who is the only person that can unlock that safe. Just an idea. Just an idea. If you think this is a good idea, please feel free to share this video. Get the message out. If you think it's a bad idea, post up in the comments what you think could be wrong. Like, I'm all open to options and dialogue. You understand that? I'm always right type person. I'm always open to hearing what people have to say. But that's just an idea that I have that I think might help this situation if they're not going to do anything in government about it. So, within a month, man, we've talked about, I felt both of these shootings deep, where the Buffalo shooting, I saw what could have been my mother, my grandmother, my uncle, my dad, my brother, my son, my wife, my kids, my aunties, my uncles. It could have been anybody just shopping. It could have been me just going to get milk for my kid. And now I see this situation here and I realize that could have been my daughter. As much as we keep saying something needs to be done, people obviously it's not getting done. It's not. So we need to figure out a different solution until things get done correctly. And like I said, for me, that's my solution. That's what I think will work. That's what I think would help. I don't know. Rest in peace to the people out there that lost somebody. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. If you're having thoughts and you see this video, if you're having thoughts about doing something like that, offer yourself. Don't take anybody else with you. Alright? Before you go sit up there and if getting help ain't gonna fix you, just take care of yourself. Leave our children alone. Leave our mothers and our families alone. Leave our husbands and our wives alone. That's my 2 cents. You can spend it how you want to.